Hello everybody, I hope that you're all doing well. We are here with a general and timeless reading. Before we get started, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. Okay, so it looks like there's a difficult chapter closing that you are still figuring out maybe how to close it or how to adjust to it closing. Something centered around an ending. I'm seeing this be definitely a challenging ending, especially mentally. But it looks like this is actually what you want, and it may be necessary for you to also like acquire maybe something else that you want. It feels like a trade-in energetically. Like, unless you close out this, you can't open up to that, this sort of thing. But you may be figuring out how to do this. As to be expected. You're like, what is my intuition telling me? I'm having a hard time. It's like all dusty. You're trying to make out what it's saying to you. You have the Five of Wands here and the Page of Cups. This is like, I feel conflicted, and I feel like my feelings are conflicted, and I'm not really sure which one to follow. That's the challenge, huh? This is a challenge of letting go of something that you are attached to, but that you don't feel like is in alignment, but you may be like, what am I going to do without this thing? I need this thing, but you also don't need anything outside of yourself, but also all of the other alsos, you know, one of those situations. What am I going to do without this? It's like something that you are very, very, very attached to. Very attached to. Something that it's gotten to the point where you're like, what am I going to do if I don't have this thing? Like, where am I going to find comfort then? Am I going to be incomplete without this? Like, it's become a part of me even. My identity is wrapped all the way around it. But I'm seeing really that be the difficult part here. It's like, you know what your intuition is telling you, but that part of your ego that's very attached to this, because it's like a blankie, it's like, I don't want to let go of it. Not yet. So it's like ego versus your intuition, splitting and separating the two. That's where your maybe like ambivalence, we can say, is coming from. This is a really big ask that the universe is like bringing to your doorstep, okay? The devil is not light work to be dealing with. This is like, the devil is the stuff that it's so easy to be seduced by. It's the stuff that society tells you that you need. It's the stuff that you've been raised being told that, like, what are you without this thing, you know? It's something deeply, deeply ingrained within you, where this is like a shedding of the Maya. It's a shedding of the illusion. It's a shedding of the attachment. And right now you're in the throes of like the suffering because of potentially losing this thing that you're attached to, or making a choice where you're actively separating yourself. And so of course this is going to be challenging. This is something that you have like grown and developed in many ways a dependency to. And so that's why it's going to feel like you're shedding skin in the most painful and freeing of ways. It's going to be both liberating and also like the scariest thing ever, for sure. It's going to be all the things that you're feeling moving through this. And who are you in the world without that? I feel like this question is definitely coming up, coming forward. Like, what do you do without this thing that you've been leaning on, this like safety net, this blanket of yours? But it's something worldly for sure. This is not like a spiritual connection that you have to this thing. It's a worldly connection. You're definitely on your way to finding yourself through this. Like, you may feel like you have a responsibility to yourself to see this through. Whatever it is that you need to do here to feel like you've succeeded within this chapter, you are going to be accomplishing. And you're going to do it for yourself too, and for your sense of autonomy. Maybe out of a sense of responsibility, obligation to self. You're going to send that message. You're going to have that talk. You're going to do what you need to do here. It seems like you're going to be sharing how you feel about this. And that's going to be the end. That's going to be the closing. But I'm seeing it be like your responsibility. Like, it's on you. It's your job to be communicating something that needs to be communicated. But it seems like you need to do something for yourself, step into a particular type of energy, or just like realize something within you in order to do this, which you're going to be realizing. I do strongly get this sense of your identity like being wrapped around this thing, and so you not having this may really pose the question to you of like, who are you without this thing? And I'm seeing you're going to be answering that for yourself, and you're going to realize that you actually don't need this at all. There's definitely going to be like an epiphany of sorts that happens. I'm seeing the outlook look very, very good for you, even though this is going to be, I'm hearing that is cramping your style. It's a difficult spot that you're in right now, okay? Nonetheless, it is going to be coming to a close because that's just inevitable at this point. I'm seeing you are like wildly, in a good way, and ambitiously going to be going after what you want, which looks like it requires a leap of faith. It seems like you're going to sort of get the courage up to be able to do this, and like in that moment, that's when this thing is going to happen, okay? It's like in this moment of like raging confidence, you're going to get to this point where you're like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go after what I want. And I'm seeing definitely like you having faith in yourself, and maybe even to the point of it being a little, I don't want to say delusional, but you know when you have to do something really tough and you like really have to talk yourself up to doing it and accomplishing it and be like really such a cheerleader for yourself. It's going to be one of those moments where you got to get like really pumped up to do this. But that's what I'm seeing happen. And it seems like you making a decision that maybe I'm seeing there's this part of you, like the earth energy within you is like consistency and reliability, and don't be making like short-term plans, and you're going to be activating this part of you that needs to be activated for you to accomplish this. That's like, maybe it's a bit of a rash decision, even though I'm not seeing that it is, but from your perspective, you may see this as being maybe like a less responsible part of yourself, but you're actually going to feel very freed and very liberated by allowing this part of yourself to come up and forward and to really carry you through this process, okay? To have Capricorn be the one and only, this can be a focus on your career, a focus on your public life, a focus on your identity, the way that people perceive you, the rapport that you have, things associated with that, your public life, your career, I think we said that already, your business, jobs, your resources, things of that nature, okay? Your stability. All right, my friends, with that being said, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for connecting. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.